All right, we should be going live. This is always the fun part.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
All right, let's see here. I'm trying to go into each of the
I know, double check it too.
All right, I got to do a little refresh over here on these two. There it goes.
Oh, yeah, I see us on Facebook.
All right.
And I see us on YouTube. All right. Yay. It's always challenge number one.
I know. And now, of course, YouTube is making me open the YouTube. Have you guys had this where it makes you open the YouTube app to confirm it's you?
Oh,
That's
yes.
what I'm doing. Yeah. Man, we are so excited to be here with you guys and creating with the High Five kit.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Whether you're watching us live or watching us on replay. I just want to give you guys a quick rundown. If this is your first Create with us, we always schedule these around new releases. And with the release of the Hive 5 kit, Kelly and I decided we wanted to do another fun class like this with you guys. So you can sit back and relax and chit chat with us, or you can create along with us. We always put the handout ahead of time with the announcing of the date of the class on Lawn Fawn's website, on the Create With Us website. And it's just a fun time for us to get together, create together. You guys can ask questions. And again, you can come back to this later and watch the replay or create along with us live, whatever works for all of you. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here. And I hope you guys have been enjoying your High Five kit. Every time I say B here, I'm saying E-E-E.
B-E-E. B.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's nice to see everyone. We've got from Toronto to NorCal to Southern California. Oh, someone said they loved watching Miles clean up the shop. He really does do that.
That
They've taught
was
him
so cute.
And sweep up. He just loves it. It's so sweet.
Oh my gosh,
I'm not sure they really get swept up. They kind of just get pushed around, but it's adorable.
I feel like I always forget to mention this. So maybe Kelly, you can help mention it throughout the night too. But after tonight, or whenever you guys do create some cards that you're inspired with from tonight, make sure you guys use that hashtag that's at the bottom of the screen, LF Create With Us. And that way we can see the adorable cards that you guys are all going to make. I know I love to see them. So definitely make sure you use that hashtag, tag Lawn Fawn, go ahead and tag me. We love it.
Yes. And as you're creating, if you want to get creative and make something different, that's totally okay. Like, get creative, create with the supplies that you have. We want to see what you're making tonight. So make sure to use that hashtag.
All right. I think I'm going to flip the camera. You'll be able to see my hands and Kelly and my faces throughout the evening. So let me get this all set up. All right.
So cute.
So tonight we're going to be making a card, and then we are also going to be making a cute little tag. I did put on the handout a little bonus idea. If you end up wanting to put your tag onto a card, you guys can go ahead and do that. We're not going to do that tonight. But I wanted to give you guys that little bit of idea in case you just didn't have a need for the tag. So Kelly is holding up the handout. Again, the handout is available on Lawn Fawn's website. I know we have Rebecca and Shari in the comments with us tonight, and they're going to be helping answer questions. And they also will be putting in links throughout the night as well. So, yes. Woo, woo.
Right. Oh my gosh, people have already been creating and combining this stamp set with the bears, which I love. I
have not had a chance to do that yet, and I can't wait. I think Grace did
and
another
also,
Winnie the Pooh card, and I was like, I can't wait.
I know, it's so good. Miles, by the way, has been reading obsessively the Winnie the Pooh book you gave him. So
yay. Makes me so happy. All right, so we are going to jump right in, you guys, and we are going to start coloring our images. If you are scrambling from, you know, still doing prep work, this prep was pretty easy. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit, so just bear with me for a second. I want to just back it up a little bit. I feel like I'm super close. All right. So I thought the prep work for this was pretty easy, not too much stamping and die cutting, but we're going to jump right into coloring. Also included in the handout are my coloring guides. I include these in all of the online classes that I teach. Everybody has been, I actually just sent out a survey asking people for some feedback about my online classes, and everybody was chiming in about how much they love these coloring guides. Even if you're not using the exact Copic markers, or even if you're using another coloring medium, I think it just gives you a great idea of color combos. And then also maybe where to put a shadow or where not to put a shadow or whatever. It just kind of gives you a nice stepping off point. So these are included in, again, all the handouts that I make now. Super fun. So let's go ahead and start right away with our beehive. And so for our beehive, I'm going to be using Y35 and Y21. And just so you guys know, I stamped all my images on 80-pound Nina cardstock, which is the Lawn Fawn white cardstock. That's what they package. And then I use the Lawn Fawn jet black ink. I use this for all of my coloring, honestly. Those of you guys that follow me know I do some pretty artsy stuff for Tim Holtz. So sometimes I break out my archival ink, but this Lawn Fawn jet black is what I use for almost all the coloring mediums that I color with. I love that Kelly just threw her glasses on.
Yes, it's getting real now.
We're
making sure I can see.
We're getting down to business. All right. So again, I'm using Y35 and Y21. And I always start with the darkest marker. And again, I'm going to work on the beehive first. And most of the time when I have something that has a curve to it, I like to add a little bit of shadow to the left and the right and end up getting a highlight towards the center so it'll look like it has a curve to it. I do this a lot with jars, beehives now, beach balls. So that's why I'm shadowing a little bit on the left and a little bit on the right. I'm actually going to go in a little bit farther with my shadow. I'm used to do it coloring smaller images.
It's kind of fun to color a larger one every once in a while.
It is. Kind of break out of the norm. Excuse me. All right. Then I'm going to take my Y21 and I like to just start to color on the edge of the shadow, blending the two colors together. This is going to go fairly quickly because they're, you know, yellows. Yellows blend really quick because the colors are very light. I'm not going to color the whole beehive yet because we want to leave some of it white, so we'll get a true highlight from just having one layer of this lightest marker. And I tend to almost always do two color blending. I try to keep my Copic coloring pretty simple, but still cute. Okay.
And someone's asking where we're at with the Lawn Fawn sweatshirts. And they're not printed yet, but there are sweatshirts in our warehouse, boxes and boxes and boxes of them, all the sizes. We're very excited. There's zip up hoodies, there's crew necks, and there are hoodies. So
and we sent in for the printing.
Yes.
So we are in the process.
Yes, we have made the most progress we've ever made because we were waiting. The manufacturer of the sweatshirts was out of stock on the sizes and the colors we wanted to do. So we are so excited. It is actually moving along, and we should have them before the end of the year. So I am thrilled.
Yeah, it's just from ordering my crafty gear, it's been hard to get certain colors, certain sizes in. Yeah, it's been really hard. So I just did one layer of the Y21 down the center of the beehive, and now I'm actually going to go back in with my Y35 and just add in a little bit more color on the edges, pulling it in. So whether you're dabbing or doing little circles or swiping, but it's just kind of softening the edge of where we blended. And then we have that super cute beehive. I'm not going to put these yellow markers away because we are going to use them again, but I'm going to get out my browns. And I used E27 and E23. I just saw Gina said on YouTube, my birthday is in September and all I want is a Lawn Fawn sweatshirt.
Okay, I hope by September.
Or you can ask for a gift certificate for your birthday, because we will definitely, it'll be a good pre-holiday gift. So we should be getting them.
It's like 8 weeks for screen printing.
Yeah.
So it's not, I can't promise. It's like 8 weeks for screen printing, but I am there. We're getting there.
I feel like in this day and age, we never want to promise anything because you just never know what's going to happen.
Just don't know.
Don't want to disappoint people. So
yeah.
I know we have a product with our fall winter release now. I'm like, will it be able to come out then, or will it come out with the sweatshirts? We don't know yet.
So I just did E27 along the right hand side. I was fairly generous with that since, again, the opening of the beehive is pretty large. And then the same process, I'm going to take that E23 and I'm dabbing the color kind of like half on, half off so that the two colors blend together. And then I'll fill in the rest of the opening with one layer of this E23. And then to fix that kind of awkward line that we can still see, I'm going to go back to my dark marker, my E27, and just pull the color again from that right side. And you get that super cute little shadowed opening.
Jen, when your markers dry, do you ever go back in and kind of add some more darkness with your darker marker? Like once it kind of dries and you see how it blended?
I very rarely do once it's dried, because then I feel like I get an awkward line. I try to work with it while everything's still a little damp, but that doesn't mean larger images like this are much more forgiving. So you could go back in and get that cardstock saturated. I think the smaller images, it's just best to let it be. Just let it be. Once it's all put together on a wicked cute card, nobody's going to notice.
Is that the trick? Let it be? Because I don't understand that.
And there's another really great question here from Madi. It says, how do I get over my Copic coloring insecurities? I do practice, but I just seem judgmental.
So I would say, just remember, this is just white cardstock with a stamp set that we can stamp over and over and over and over again. I have some Lawn Fawn stamp sets that are like 9 years old. So just, if you're really nervous or you're not happy with how your coloring is coming out, take like the beehive stamp and stamp it many times on a whole sheet of cardstock. Don't think about doing a finished project. Don't think about die cutting it, and just sit there and color. But once one kind of goes where you don't like it, just put a big X through it and move on to the next one. Just remember, it's just white cardstock. It's not gonna, you got plenty of white cardstock, and the stamps can be used over and over and over again. So hopefully that helps.
I love that. Someone also mentioned that you could just let it be.
Yes, just let it be. I just want to quickly say, I just saw that Vanessa from Butterfly Reflections just popped on and said hi. And I just want to say hi. I know a lot of us know she just went through brain surgery. So super happy to have you here tonight, Vanessa.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you here, Vanessa. We love you.
Yes. All right. So now we're going to color our little bumblebees, and we're going to go back to the same colors that I used on the beehive. So I'm going to start with Y35, and these guys are teeny, so you could just color them one yellow. Like in my classes, I tend to show you guys how to blend and use 2 colors, but you don't always have to do that. And honestly, like sometimes I don't do that. I like to just color my bees yellow. But I figure the more information I can give you guys, the more helpful it will be. I feel like every time we say that word tonight.
I know. Well, at one point we were like, gosh, I think we're all fresh out of bee puns when we were doing all the prep for the kit.
But so what I'm going to do is actually just shadow all 3 bees at once because they are smaller images. And then we'll go back in and blend each one separately. So our little bee that's front facing that doesn't have a crown, I'm going to come up from his neck into his face. And then on his, what are now white stripes, but they're going to be yellow stripes in a minute, I'm just going to do a little line on the left and a little line on the right. Again, just trying to get that appearance that things are curved. And we're going to do the same shadowing on the queen bee, up from the neck, a little on the left, a little on the right. And then the bee that is facing the right, I'm going to, again, come from his neck into his face. And then I'm going to just do a little swoop on his underbelly. Super simple. Hi, Nancy.
I was just going to say, hi,
Nancy. Hey, Nancy. Nancy is the OG of the Fawnies. She's the original.
I feel like she could be our queen bee tonight.
She is our queen bee. Nancy is definitely our queen bee.
Now I'm going to blend out with Y21. So I'm going to work on 1 bee at a time. Especially if you're using alcohol-based markers, the alcohol evaporates quickly. So you kind of want to work on 1 image at a time so that your cardstock won't dry. And so I'm blending along the edge of anywhere that we did the darker color, the Y35. And then once that's done, I'll fill in whatever's left white, not his wings, but his body, 1 layer. And again, if you want to go back in with your dark marker and add a little bit more definition, you can. I often do that with my yellows and my oranges, just because they are such light colors. And I'm going to move on to my queen bee and my sideways bee and do the same thing. And while I'm doing that, I thought I would chat about some giveaways.
Ooh.
So this High Five kit is sold out. But Kelly snuck into the warehouse and pulled some aside to do some giveaways. So if you're with us live, make sure you guys are commenting. And at the end of the live, Shari, who is answering comments on Facebook, and Rebecca, who's answering comments on YouTube, they are going to let us know 2 winners, 1 from each. And if you're watching on the replay, also make sure you still comment, and you have a week to leave a comment on either YouTube or Facebook, and we will pick 2 more winners and contact them to be able to get you guys a High Five kit in the mail. Yay. So exciting.
And if you already have a kit, it's a really fun way to share one with a friend too.
Yes. Hook them in into this amazing hobby. All right.
Someone saying that they love Lawn Fawn customer service. Thank you so much. Jess is our main customer service person. So when you write info at Lawn Fawn, you're chatting with her. And so I know she appreciates that. And then our team here, just amazing. We are so lucky. We're a Fawny family here for sure.
I love it. Oh, I see a few comments. Yeah, I did Bumblebee nails for tonight. I had to do it. So my ring finger, I envisioned this as a honey pot with the honey oozing down. And then I did little bee stripes and some little hearts. I had to do it. Cute. I had to do it. You know, our house is a mess, but I got cute nails. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, so now on the little bee's wings, I'm going to take my BG, my BG10, and I'm going to add just a little bit of this light blue at the base of the wings. I always like to do this. I think it gives them a little bit of life. And while we have our BG10, our little speech bubble, I have the little carrot pointing to the right. I'm going to do just a little shadow at the base of it with the BG10 as well.
I always like doing that too, with either like a warm gray or a
I just think it makes it come to life. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, it's not just like plain.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted the crown on the queen bee to stand out a little bit different. So I'm doing more of a darker yellow. So I'm going to use the Y17 to color in her crown. I think a purple crown would be really pretty on this card too. All right. How's everybody doing? Let us know in the comments if you're creating along with us or if you're just kicking back and relaxing because, you know, it's a Friday night and it's been a long week.
There is a question about if the kits are going to be a monthly thing.
They're not going to be a monthly thing, but we know that you guys have loved the kit, so we're hoping to do another one in the future, but we don't currently have any plan. This was kind of a fun experiment, but I'm so glad to hear that you guys have loved it. And right now what we're gearing up for is our fall winter release, which release day is going to be August 25th. So that is been our focus here. So it's been fall, Halloween, and Christmas all the time here at Lawn Fawn right now.
And we actually just had a quick meeting before hopping on live with you guys. And we have some really fun Create With Us classes planned for the fall. So just remember, we always announce the details for those on release day. So when you guys are purchasing your new goodies, you'll be able to see what sets we're going to be using in these mini classes. And you can choose if you're going to want to create along with us or not. So yay!
Yay.
Awesome. So now we're going to color our honey jar. And for that, it's going to be really similar to the bees. I kept coloring pretty simple. So it has a nice cohesive feel on the card and the tag. So I'm going to use the Y35 and I'm going to do a little bit on the left and the right of the jar part of the jar. So not the label and not that adorable fabric wrap on the top.
Our Renata, who designs a lot of our dies and stencils, we had never met her in person, and she was here on Wednesday visiting from New York. We've obviously been on FaceTime. I know, we're so excited, and she brought us all honey, which was so sweet. She brought Eric and I honey, so but it was so cute because it looks like this jar, and it even had a little bee charm. So I thought it was so sweet. So and it was just so nice.
Upstate New York, right, Kelly?
She's in upstate New York. Yes.
Yeah, I think she needs to venture to Cape Cod some point.
She does, and she is just a delight, and I love her so much. So it was so nice that we actually got to be together in person.
Be together
with our honey. I know, so I can't wait to try the honey. I'm going to try it this weekend. I should have brought some here for your hot tea, Rebecca.
Yeah.
So I just colored the jar again the same way that I colored everything else so far. And for the label, I wanted a nice kind of warm brown label. So we're going to use the same browns that we used for the doorway on the beehive, E27 and E23. And what I actually did is I did a thin line at the bottom of the label with the E27, the darker brown, and a thin line at the top of the label with the E27. And then we're going to blend that out with the E23. When we're blending it out, we're actually building up layers of the E23. So it's actually a darker version of itself. So that's why I always leave some area white to do just one layer of that second color so that we'll have a really nice true light version. So you can see I have a nice white strip on the center, and I'm going to take that E23 and just do one quick layer so it's a nice lighter version. And again, while your cardstock is still a little damp, you can always go back in and add a little bit more richness of the dark. And usually it'll kind of soak back into the paper because your cardstock is still damp. Now, I have a fan blowing on me behind me tonight, so might not necessarily be the case. It depends where you live too, how quick you have to work, but it looks super cute.
You hear, I just noticed, so Nicole, who used to work here, left a comment at YouTube. So I just wanted to say hi, Nicole. She just jumped in and is crafting and watching along, and we miss you, Nicole. It's nice to see you on here.
I love, Tracy just said, hopefully we'll see a Mrs. Scarecrow. I'm giving you the side eye.
People want hints for the next release. I'm catching up on comments now. Yeah, so I know I will promise I will drop some hints. We've been working hard. We actually start our virtual trade show on Monday. So that's what we've been working hard here. So it's fun because we get to hang with you guys now, and then we get to hang with the stores next week. So we're thrilled about that.
I love it. Deneen just said, Jen taught me the art of enabling. So I have been enabling my friends with Lawn Fawn. Yay! So the little, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
I'm trying to catch up on comments. So if we miss anything, please comment again, because I want to make sure we catch everything.
I can't remember what this is called, and I think I put it in the handout, but my mind is blank.
Oh, I had to Google it. It's a honey dipper.
Okay, and I think that's what I called it in the handout for the coloring guide, because I Googled it too. But so the honey dipper, I just did E53, all one color, nothing fancy.
And then I did see, since people are asking, I figure I like when people ask questions about what's in the release when it's a little more specific. So any new giant messages? Yes, there is a new giant.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful. It may not be
different.
Exactly what you're hoping for, Sherry, but it's different. I think you're really going to like it. It's really
a bit different than the other giant messages.
And there's a brand new style of giant word die too. And you guys love it. It's really
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. It's so fun. So fun.
Yay. All right. I'm going to start to color my fabric on my top of my honey jar. So I'm going to use R22 and R30. I really have enjoyed this color combo. It's a nice kind of like warm reddish pinkish, so fun new color combo. I'm going to take the darker color, the R22, and I'm going to go a little bit under the tie on the scalloped part of the fabric. So just under the tie, like the band that's across the jar. And then I'm going to do a little bit along the top and a little bit on the right.
Oh, this is pretty.
Yeah. And then while we have this out, I was super crazy and I did 2 colors on the banner. Again, you do not need to do this if that is not your jam. I just was having so much fun coloring. Sometimes I get carried away. But all I did was just did a little line on the right side of each of the pennants. Super simple. And then I'm going to take the R30 and I'm going to work on that honey jar again. And I'm going to blend out the 2 colors. So I'm really dabbing right over that R22. Trying to leave a smidge of white. You can see there's just very little bit of white left. And I'm going to fill that in with 1 layer. Super cute. And then just to finish up that honey jar, I believe I did the tie, whether they are using a rubber band or ribbon. I just used the E23 for that.
Yeah, and then somebody just mentioned that there is a sale going on right now at lawnfawn.com. So we have 15% off through tomorrow. So it's just the last day of the sale on our awesome summer sale. We like to call it the Beat the Heat sale because when it's really hot, you can stay inside and craft. So we have 15% off the entire site going on right now. And that code, I believe, is summer 2022. And I'll have Shari Shari and Rebecca linked that in both Facebook and YouTube. But there is a sale at lawnfawn.com right now, 15% off, which is awesome.
Janabler alert, Janabler alert, Janabler alert.
Yeah, I don't, Kelly-abler?
Yeah, no, don't try. We've tried this.
I'm not to try.
She and I are teaching
I'm not.
class together.
No, this doesn't work.
No.
It's Janabling.
It just can be Janabling since I'm here.
Yeah. No, doesn't work.
No, don't. We do this every time Shari and I are teaching together. All right, so now I'm going to move on to my 3 daisies. I'm going to back up just a little bit so they can kind of all be in frame. Sorry, you guys, it's not going to get old during this class. I'm going to do the stems first. So I'm going to use YG09 and YG05.
And then I wanted to answer some questions as you guys are doing the stems about the release. So the release in August 25th is fall and winter. We like to release all of it at once because some of you are amazing and you start your holiday cards early. Not me, but you guys are awesome and you're starting
Some
early.
of us are get cracking on Christmas all year long.
I know.
So
I really
excited.
should be joining in on Jen's Get Cracking with Christmas. But so we have all of fall and winter that release August 25th. So the next release won't be until December for Valentine's. So everything, it's a big release August 25th. But the cool thing is we're going to be featuring the fall things first and the winter things later. So it's a release that lasts throughout 3 months. And there will be 2 Create With Us classes, one fall and one holiday, so that we're able to kind of focus on each part of it. But for those of you that like to get an early start on your holiday cards, we'll have all of the holiday items available then too.
Yeah, and just remember, it is a big release, so don't feel you have to get it all at once. It's not going anywhere. Lawn Fawn rarely discontinues something, and they're not going to be discontinuing anything from the new release.
We'll be reordering the entire time.
Yeah.
So
spread out your happy mail. So we'll have 2 different Create With Us's. I'm going to have 2 online classes as well. And then I'm also going to have a self-paced online class. So lots of fun details are coming up. I've been brewing lots of ideas while I've been mermaiding this summer. So I just used YG09 and I did straight coloring on the stems and then the base of the leaves that you guys can see right here. Calcified, they said, to be Janable's. Calcified.
Somebody was mentioning that I'm too loud. If I'm too loud, let me know. I have a mic this time, so I can move it, and I have a very loud.
I think you're sounding great, but yeah, let us know in the comments. We were trying to fix some of the sound issues we had from the last time. Yeah,
and I know, and I do have Rebecca and I, who's on the other side of the computer. We're so loud that they kind of like put us in a separate room here.
Well, I'm also really loud too. I had my desk out in the hallway in 2nd grade, so yeah, we're all together on this.
There are some more questions about the kits. If we're going to be doing them monthly. No.
Yes. So they won't be monthly. It'll be more like a special surprise that happens occasionally, which makes it, I think, pretty fun and exciting. And then, of course, we'll have our big releases that we have throughout the year as well. So they're definitely not going to be a monthly kit, but more just like a nice, happy surprise, when it happens. So this is the first time we've ever done one. So we're learning about the process. And it's been, fun and exciting. So I'm so glad that you guys have been enjoying it. And we love hearing that feedback about it, that you guys love it.
All right. So I just blended out with YG05, and I'm just going to go back in and add a few little lines, like thin lines with my YG09, just to kind of give those leaves a little texture, but this is optional. You don't have to do it. Just feeling a little
sassy.
A little over the top tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it.
And
then we've got some other, first of all, I want to say hi to Donna because this is her first time she's ever left a comment. So hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna. Ooh.
And the giveaway isn't USA only, it's anywhere. So anybody can enter. And people say that they like that we don't retire things, and we rarely do. I will, because we happen to be talking about it, we will be retiring some much older items. like from 10 years ago.
Oh, you
At one
break
point
my
this
heart.
year. I know, we ran out of room in the warehouse, guys.
Send it to the East Coast warehouse. I'll hold on to it for you.
I know, right? But they're older items, but we have something coming back from the vault in this fall winter release on August 25th. So just because they go away doesn't mean they can't come back. So we're really excited because something from 2011 is going to be coming back in fall winter.
That's exciting. I'm very excited about that, by the way.
Yes. And then we have another really good question, Shari, just let me know, is if there's going to be any add-ons for the platform pop-up in this release. And there will be. There are 2 of them, and they're really great. I think you guys are going to love them. They're really awesome and really easy to use, too.
There's also a question about sweatshirts will they be in the fall release? They will not be in the fall release. They will be released separately because we still have to have them screen printed, and we would not have them in time.
Yeah, so we'll release them separate once we can.
Somebody just said all the retired items should just go into a Gen kit. I think they mean like I should do a class with them so they can quickly get them before they're gone.
We will announce what's retiring before. It won't just disappear.
Yeah.
Yes. They won't just disappear. We will let you guys know. And like I said, they're much older items that no one's been paying attention to for a long time. So I think everyone's going to be okay with it. We only retire things if people haven't been, if we sell 0 or 1 a month. So I promise that it's older items that either you guys already have, or maybe they just need a little update. So Eric and I have already been meeting about if we're retiring something with a really fun theme, we might just have to update that theme because we've been around for 12 years now. So sometimes things need a little refresh. So that's a fun way to think about it too.
I'm going to just check my sound for a second. I'm seeing a couple comments and I remembered I did something.
And I moved my mic back a little bit too.
All right. I just did a little something. So let me know, you guys, in the comments if I'm a little bit louder for you. So I'm doing the tops of the daisies, the centers of the daisies. So I did E27 on the left side. And then I'm going to blend out with E23. And then fill in whatever's left with 1 layer. It's a really nice way to make these guys look a little dimensional.
And we have a fun comment here, tips on photographing cards. I never seem to get great lighting for Instagram. I also love the way people add props to their photos. I would love to, I feel like we struggle taking pictures of cards here at Lawn Fawn. We are not professional photographers at all. So I would actually love to hear some tips as well. I don't know if you guys in the comments might have some tips, or maybe Jen has some, but mine is, we kind of have a permanent setup and we take photos here, but we struggle too. So I'd love to hear some tips from you guys.
I do not use props. I just use a wooden board. I keep it simple. Honestly, I just don't have the time to do props and pull out my supplies again. But I would just recommend natural light. So whenever I have a slider door in my studio space, which I just got up to close because I forgot to close that, so it's not noisy. But whenever I can roll my cart over there and take photos against that big window and get some good natural light, I think that's the best way to start. So, but yeah, hopefully people can chime in the comments if you're good with props. It's just not my thing, but I like seeing it, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah. Oh man, I love the props. I would love to get better about that. I know that a lot of the girls that take photos, they have those boards, those photo boards as well on our team. And I think they have like a little bin of items. The other thing that works really well with props is when you make your card, you've got a bunch of stuff all over your desk, right? Some markers, maybe an ink pad. Those can be your props. So just don't put away your stuff yet. And you can kind of place those around your card. And that's a fun way to have props too.
That's a great idea. So I'm going to use Y02 and I'm going to come down on the petals of the daisy from the brown just to add, they're like white daisies, but I wanted to add just a little dimension, a little life to them again. You figure they're reflecting all that golden, yummy honey that's going to be surrounding them.
Oh, this is pretty.
And then we have our 3 little die cut flowers. And I'm also just going to add a little yellow to the base of those petals. Don't worry about what your centers are going to look like. We're going to do something fun with those in a little bit. So it doesn't matter if you don't fill in your centers completely with yellow. I'm just adding a quick little line of yellow on each of those petals.
On 3 of them?
Yes. We're actually only using 3 tonight, Kelly, on the tag. But if you're making the card, I used 5.
Got it.
Okay. And I'll talk about the card and all of that too when we get to that point. All right. That was our coloring, you guys.
That's one of the reasons why I love this kit is the coloring for everything. It's like just easy and fun, and yellow, my favorite color. It's the best.
It's just like warm and reminds me of summer, which we all know I love. So
yeah. My walls are yellow at home. I like to feel like I live inside a sunflower.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh my gosh, somebody got the kit for their birthday from a friend, which is so sweet.
That's so awesome. That is so awesome. All right.
People are asking if the Hive kit will be restocked. The kit was limited edition, so it won't be restocked, but we've had so much feedback about maybe bringing these items back at some point. So we're really taking that into consideration, and you never know. So we're working on that.
The paper too.
And the paper as well. I can actually tell you for sure that the paper is coming back because we have to order paper in very large quantities. So you'll definitely be seeing that paper later. I personally love that paper, so it will definitely be coming back.
So we are going to work on our background for our card. So I have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel here. White cardstock, whatever you guys like to do your ink blending on. And I'm going to use the Wendy Vecchi station. You guys, if you've joined us for Create With Us's before, you know this is my favorite tool to use when I am using stencils. It's a magnetic board. Lawn Fawn has them in their online shop, so that would work for the discount as well. Enabler alert. And then we are going to use our stencil that came with the kit. So I'm going to be using this part of the stencil that has the honeycomb, kind of like the 2 rows of the honeycomb. You're more than welcome to use this part of the stencil if you would like. But for my background, I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to take a little bit of removable runner and just put it on the back. I like to just do that to hold it down on my magnetic board. When I'm stenciling off the edge, I just kind of like having that little extra bit to hold it down. So I'm going to start my first honeycomb over here, kind of center-ish off the left-hand side. I'm using the grid on my station to make sure that my stencil is straight. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to use 2 different yellows. So I'm going to be using Lawn Fawn's Lemonade, which is a bright light yellow. And I'm also going to be using the number 2 pencil, which is a great honey color. Like, again, if you're purchasing on the sale, this is the best honey color. It's nice and warm and golden. It's great for fall as well, which is coming up. Although I don't want to talk about that just yet. And what we're going to do is I'm going to use the Lemonade first with a blender brush. And I'm going to do just a very light, barely touching the paper coverage of this lemonade. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Like if you see when I lift up my stencil, I'm going to lift it on the corner. Can you guys see that? How it's not even filled in perfectly. It's super, super soft. A couple areas hit a little bit darker, but you just want it to be very, very light. Okay. And then I'm going to use a smaller blender brush only because it's going to save me time to not have to kind of clean my blending brush in between. But if you're going to only use one blending brush, totally okay. Just have a cloth or a paper towel or even some scratch paper off to the side where you can just rub your blending brush off after we use the darker ink, okay? If you don't have two blending brushes, totally okay. Does that make sense, Kelly?
Yes, it does. And I also wanted to bring up, because somebody asked about if there was a mini of the number 2 pencil. We have a new mini ink cube pack coming out on August 25th, and it does have the number 2 pencil in there. So as soon as we have 4 ink colors, we come out with the mini ink cube pack, and that will be coming out on August 25th.
Perfect. So this is the number 2 pencil on the left. So I'm going to go in again with my blending brush. And now what I'm going to do is I'm still going to have a light hand, but what you're going to see happen is, oops, that was a heavy hand. What you're going to see happen is I'm just using a light hand, but the ink is tending to catch on an edge. So it's kind of like we're shadowing a little bit. I'm not trying to fill in all of the honeycomb. Again, I got a little crazy right here, but we want it to just kind of hit on the edges. And I'm peeling back my stencil so you guys can see how that golden color is like on that left side of those honeycombs. Now, if you only have one blending brush, now you want to wipe that blending brush off either on a cloth or, again, some scratch paper or a paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my stencil. And I'm going to figure out where I want my next honeycomb, okay? So I'm going to go down towards the right-hand side. Put my magnets in place. And again, we're going to start with the light color, the lemonade. And I always ink up my blending brush and then tap it. I have a glass table surface. So I just tap it off. It kind of lets some of that ink off. And I'm going to do a light application. Now, if you have a lot of ink on your stencil and you don't want to have that in your light color, what I should mention real quick is I'm going to move my station. I just put some rubbing alcohol in a mister, and you can just mist your stencil real quick and wipe it with a cloth. And the difference between doing that versus a water bottle is we don't have any dry time. We don't have to wait for the stencil to dry because the alcohol evaporates. And then that way we won't get any number 2 pencil into our lemonade ink. So I'm going to reset up my stencil. Stencils are so awesome, you guys, because they're fairly inexpensive. They don't break the bank, but there's so much you can do with them. I mean, we're just ink blending tonight, but this is a great stencil to spread through some paste, whether it be sparkly paste or metallic paste. There's just a lot of stuff you can do with stencils. I love them. And now that I've been using the magnetic board, I'm more apt to use my stencils because it just makes it so easy.
And I want to mention that, and we'll have Shari and Rebecca link to it. The intro video, we show like 10 different ways to use this stencil because there's a cool map in it and there's these other things. So after you guys create here and you're wondering other ways to use the stencil, check out that intro video because there's a ton of really cool ideas.
Awesome. So I'm taking my blender brush. I inked up in number 2 pencil. I tapped it off on my glass mat. I'm going to try to have a little bit of a lighter hand than I did the first time. And the ink, the darker ink is going to kind of catch on those edges when you have a really light hand. it's kind of scraping the ink onto those edges and not really filling it in, but it's kind of giving them a shadow. Super pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. So again, I'm going to spray my stencil. Wipe it. I always have, this is like a flour sack cloth. I got this tip from Tim Holtz a million years ago. I always have one in my lap to wipe my fingers off or wipe my desk off or whatever. I'm going to do another little one in this lower left-hand corner. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, and we've got some comments piling up, so I just wanted to mention some things. We had some really great comments about photos, especially over at YouTube. People had some cool tips. So if you guys were wondering for those, and Nicole that used to work here at Lawn Fawn takes gorgeous photos. And she mentioned that Amazon sells ring lights for really cheap, and a ring light could be something that might be able to help you, especially if your lighting may not be great. So I thought that was really good.
Oh, awesome.
There. And once again, if there was any question we missed as we've been stenciling and chatting, you can always drop that question in the comments again.
Yep, I'm just going around, and again, I'm doing the lemonade, the light color, and then I'm just lightly adding in a little bit of number 2 pencil, cleaning my stencil, and then moving it to another part of my card. So this is a great time to answer some questions.
Yes, and another really good question. People were saying that they got some impression marks from their dies sometimes. You know how there's the little pokey holes? Sometimes
I'm going to actually talk about that, but you can go ahead. I was going to demo.
Are you going to demo the bone folder trick later? Okay, so we're going to talk about that later. We'll wait till we chat about that. And someone else has a craft room that's yellow with sunflowers, and I love that. My happy place.
So pretty.
Somebody mentioned things that are out of stock.
There were some things out of stock. I'm sorry about that, guys.
We're
if there's some
working
things,
hard
make sure to sign up to be notified. And we're working hard to get things in as quickly as we can. As you guys know, there's just been some manufacturing delays. So we appreciate you guys being so patient. And if you have any questions about something that's out of stock or something like that during the sale, you can always email us at info@lawnfawn.com and we can help you out too.
So I'm just adding another honeycomb in the upper right corner.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add just a little bit more in the upper left corner. So I'm on my last one.
Somebody was asking, wait, what's number 2 pencil? Not realizing it was the ink, but I'm laughing because it's one of the few inks that we've ever named that's not
food. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a question that Jen and Shari are going to want to answer. Well, they are asking the same question. Is there going to be a Scarecrow friend for Happy Harvest? No, not yet.
Not yet. But I have a feeling that Jen and Shari put you guys up to asking about.
That's kind of why I'm bringing it up. I'm like,
but not me. I would never.
We should tell Erica. We should put on list because I have a feeling she would love to draw a Ms. Scarecrow.
Maybe a little scarecrow and a female scarecrow.
Baby
scarecrow friends.
That's cute.
So I have notes down for Erica, but I saw that and I was like,
Yeah, but it's not happening for this fall. Nope.
No, we have to work too far in advance, unfortunately. But
yeah,
next fall.
So we do not do a reserve purchase on things that are out of stock, but if you can sign up to be notified the second it does come back in stock. We order a lot more product, so it doesn't go back out of stock very quickly. Like once it comes. So
once it comes in, there should be for a while. If there's ever something like that you guys are interested in, like a reserve purchase, please email us at info@lawnfawn.com because we would love to hear that that's something you're interested in because it's always something that we can look into. for us, it just becomes complicated with our website and managing it with our system, but there's always things we can look into. So hearing those things really helps us because it helps us know what it is you guys want, and we're able to hopefully provide that for you.
So just kind of laying my background down here so you guys can see, although any cute honeycomb background will look perfect. It doesn't need to be identical to mine. I love it, Kelly. Looks good. And now,
if we're doing t-shirts, we're not doing t-shirts, but we are doing sweatshirts, zip-up hoodies, crew neck sweatshirts. So
it's taken me long enough to get sweatshirts. Hold on, guys.
Well, once we got sweatshirts down, I mean, the sky's the limit. But I did want to let you guys know. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Someone says we should get a bigger warehouse.
Yeah.
Not in Southern California.
Yeah, that's the problem, guys. We are right in like South Orange County, so space is at a premium here in California, which is always tough.
So my panel was still 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I like to keep it like that in case maybe, I don't know, when I was ink blending my stencil, something happened. I can always trim that part off. But what we're going to do is trim it down so that it's 4 by 5 1/4. So 4 on the vertical and then 5 1/4 on the horizontal. So then that way we'll be able to have a cute little trim of some of our pattern papers that we love.
And somebody were asking if the big word dies were with a new font. Not exactly, but you'll see. It's cool.
Yeah, like, nope.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's different. You're going to like it.
And now that we have it trimmed down, again, I have it 4 across by 5 1/4 up and down. I'm now going to ink the edges lightly with some number 2 pencil. You could do it with lemonade if you want, but I just think this is such a great golden yellow. I'm working right on my table surface because it's a glass tabletop. I do recommend working on a non-porous surface when you're ink blending. If you're ink blending on paper, you're kind of just wasting all your ink that's soaking into the paper. And then working on a non-porous surface gives you kind of that slick feel, so your blender brush really moves easily too. Go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, I'm really catching up over here on Facebook, and there's amazing photo tips on Facebook as well. So I just wanted to mention that. And then I think there might be some questions, Rebecca, that you might need to.
Well,
I'm still catching up.
I did answer the one. Somebody had a problem with one of their dies. I did put in there our email at info@lawnfawn.com. Please email, and we'll get you a replacement out right away. Unfortunately, it happens with manufacturing.
Rarely, but it does.
Every now and then. So please just email us. We'll take care of that right away. Somebody said, just move states, easy peasy. Problem with that is none of us are willing to leave the beach. So,
yeah, if a state with more space could also have beach,
we could talk.
We could do that.
But, yeah, and I can't even tell you guys to come to Cape Cod with me because it's just as expensive as Southern California. So,
and I need palm trees.
Also, we like the warmth.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't do cold. I need palm
but
trees.
Not the warmth of summer though. I like the warmth of, fall and spring.
And then there is some questions about, do we ever do a warehouse sale for local people?
We haven't in a while.
We do in a
COVID. But we hope to coming in the future, but it's been a while, but I think it would be a really fun thing to do. So, but I promise if we do, we will shout it to all of the social media rooftops and emails. So.
All right. What we are next going to do is stamp our sentiment. But in order to do that, I'm going to take my little beehive, gently peel it off my tape because it's been on my tape for a long time now.
There's another good question about distress ink colors that you might recommend that could maybe.
Yeah. Instead of number 2 pencil, I would do fossilized amber. Instead of lemonade, I would do squeezed lemonade. You could also do like wild honey and mustard seed as another combo. funny. Shari and I were talking about this earlier.
People are saying to move to Florida. I say no.
No, I'm originally from Florida, and I've been there, done that, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, home state, but the bugs are too big, and I'm a sweaty person.
We're getting a lot of Arizona. Yes, yeah, no, unfortunately,
no ocean.
Arizona has, so this is the problem. Trust me, we've gone through this, but we can't find a way because we just we love our California.
I'm originally from New York, and there's a reason we chose to,
Yeah, but I am originally from Florida, so hello to my fellow Florida people. But I can't do the humidity anymore now that I've lived in dry.
I don't want the humidity.
I think you're not a sweaty person. I'm a sweaty person.
I'm so terrible.
No, but you know what I mean? I'm someone who, like, I sweat if I think about sweating. Yes. The other people who are like me, they understand and they feel me right now.
But
I'm one of those people.
I need Southern California.
Not today, but yesterday it was like 84% humidity in our house. So, but I'm going to have wrinkles less than you, Kelly, even though we're the same age.
That's true.
Somebody wants to know if the bugs are smaller in California. Yes, they are.
And or sometimes non-existent because it's too dry here for them to live.
June bugs.
But we do sometimes miss having water.
Yeah, water would be nice. A little rain.
Yeah.
Kelly and I both really want a good rain or thunderstorm.
All right, you guys can't have it all. You sound, I'm not going to say what you sound.
You sound obnoxious.
No,
you sound obnoxious.
Yeah.
No,
you can't have it all. You can't have
No,
weather and then not have weather. You can't have it all.
I just don't want snow.
Shush. So we are going to stamp our sentiment next. So I do not have my images attached. I just kind of set my beehive, where my beehive is going to go, and like knowing my honey pot is going to go on the left. I like to just kind of do that so I have an idea of where I want to do my sentiment. And we're going to stamp, or I'm going to stamp, you guys can stamp whatever sentiment you want, but to the queen bee, you're sweet as honey. And I saw somebody just ask if I'm still planning on doing a Copic class this fall with a workbook, and the answer is yes.
Ooh, I would take that. Sorry.
Thanks. Yes, yes, and yes. You guys can sign up for my email newsletter on my website so that you don't miss any of my class announcements. All right, so I have my sentiments set up. We've talked about this in previous lives, but I'll mention it again. What's really great about the Lawn Fawn sentiments is the way that the stamp is cut. It gives you that perfect placement if you're doing your sentiments back to back or stacked like this. And I went to school for graphic design. I love typography. So this is like a huge thing for me. I love that everything is spaced correctly just by having those stamps touch. I know that the spacing is correct.
And all of our alphabets are also the same way. So each letter has the proper spacing so you can spell out custom sentiments or people's names with it as well, which is really great.
And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment in black. And I did not wet my stamp chamois, so don't look, but I'm putting my dirty stamps back onto my stamp sheet. No judgment.
And then I did thanks for being my friend.
Aw, so cute.
Yeah.
All right. So now what we're going to do is start to do a little bit of assembly. And what I did with my daisies, which I tried to explain, always on my handouts, I list what I used foam squares behind and what I didn't. But what I did with my daisies, and I'll kind of put it on the side here so you guys can kind of see, I have a foam square behind the top of each of the daisy, but the stem is flat against the card because the beehive is not popped up. So I have them tucked under. And what that does is kind of makes it look like the daisies are like reaching out from behind the beehive. And I just really loved kind of that dimension. So the way that we're going to, or the way that I'm going to do that is, again, I have my beehive in place, but I don't have it attached. All right. We just know that it's going to go there. And I'm going to take just a little foam square and put it behind the top of all 3 of my daisies. Just kind of one right behind the brown of the daisy. Okay. And what's great is we all have a picture of this card to look at, right? When you're designing the card, you're kind of like finagling and figuring out placement, but we at least have this picture that we can copy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Lawn Fawn glue tube on the stem, and you guys can kind of just watch first if you want, but I'm going to just put a little bit of glue tube behind the stem, peel the backing off of my foam square, and I'm kind of just holding that beehive in place with my finger, and I'm going to kind of tuck behind the beehive my daisy. And the glue tube's going to hold the stem down, and the foam square is going to hold the top down. The glue tube will just need a minute of pressing, right, to set. I just like I just like different dimension ideas, so I thought this was really kind of fun.
I like this a lot. And so I wanted to answer a couple of questions.
Yep.
Someone mentioned if there will, and I want Rebecca to write these down because they're cool ideas. If there will ever be a mini pop-up platform to fit inside an A2 size, which is pretty cool. That being said, I do want to mention that the large one can fit in a platform or an A2 size, depending on how you decorate it. So you may want to take a look because you can use the one we have now in an A2 envelope, just depending on the decor that you do. But that being said, a mini one would be really fun. I really love that idea. And there was another question. I'm trying to find it because it was another really good one.
If I could just jump in real quick, I saw that Rebecca did answer this over on YouTube, but somebody was asking if we could do comparisons of other brands of markers to the Copics that we're using. And unfortunately, I don't own any other alcohol-based markers, but that is also why I do my swatch list for you guys, because you could print out the handout and even you know, scribble out your colors on cardstock and line it up against the swatch list and find similar colors. And people do that a lot in my online classes because I know not everybody has Copic brand alcohol-based markers, but you could do that as well. And I even have some people that will, like, for class, they'll label their other brand of alcohol-based marker, like they'll label the one that they matched up to the R30. They'll put a little R30 on it. So during class, when I say R30, they just know exactly which one to grab. So there's a tip.
That's a good tip. There's another question asking if there's new alpha dyes in this release, if they love Henry's. There isn't, but I also would love another alpha dye. So I want to write that down as well because I think that'd be really fun for springtime.
Do you know what I thought of the other day, Kelly, which I'll just tell you now instead of texting it to you? I would love like a mini Quins.
Ooh, yeah.
I was
Quins is like an OG favorite.
Yeah, I would love a mini Quins.
Yes, mini Quins.
You guys will all see a card that I have coming out this week. I think this week. I don't know. Soon. Coming out soon on the Lawn Fawn blog. And I really was wishing Quins would work.
Oh, and somebody didn't realize we had a YouTube channel. So I'm so glad that you found us. And if you check out, this is our live right now, but if you go to our YouTube channel, it's filled with, like, I mean, there might be 1,000 videos now, but hundreds and hundreds of videos. And the cool thing is during our inspiration weeks, when we talk about new products, we have intro videos, but then throughout the rest of the month, we have other videos as well. The intro videos will give you a nice look at a new product. Or, for example, if you order an older product but want to see the video, it's still there. Or you can see really cool compilation videos. Shari did one semi recently that was a Charlotte's Web theme, for example, because she just sent that card to my son Miles. And so that one is really cute as well. And so there's kind of cool ideas in those other videos. So you're going to love them.
Shari also said that Wednesday is Jen's video card blog post with the.
But not a video. Just a.
Not a video. I know. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling on my words.
That's okay.
Wednesday, you're gonna see Pen's card.
Thank you, Shari. And just real quick, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you like this live and subscribe. But liking it also helps other people that have similar likes in the crafty world find us. So, yeah.
Yes.
I think we have
and
almost 300 people watching us, but only 70 likes. So, hit the thumbs up.
That would be awesome if you guys can hit the thumbs up. And then also, if you subscribe to our channel and you hit that little bell for notifications, you get a notification whenever there's a new video too. So if you ever need a little cheer up or a happy thing, you'll get a notification for a fun video.
We also have a comment. Well, I like this one, or Minnie's Henry. I kind of agree with that. I have Henry's. I think Henry's is my absolute favorite. Somebody wants to know, when Jen, you might, or Kelly might have a better idea, what alphabet die you would use that would go well with the bee set.
All of them.
Yeah.
I want to show you, where are my bee cards?
Behind you in that. Right there.
Yes.
And then the other one is, where did the comment go? I lost it. Somebody said that they love our birthday promotion, and that will be changing in November again. And it's really cute. Sorry, just had to say that.
Yes. So we do a free thing. So when it's your birthday, you can sign up on our website and put your birthday in once you have an account on the website. And we send you a coupon code. And you also, if you order in that month, you get a free stamp die combo. And it always changes in November. There's not a reason for that. It was just that was when we started. Yeah. So that means that every month we'll get the one stamp set. And then once everybody every month has had a chance to get it, we switch to a new one. So the new switch happens in November. And it's really cute. I'm really excited about them. So it's really fun. And I know people were asking about an alphabet die that looks nice with this. This is Henry's ABCs. And this we did this in the intro video. So I'll have both Rebecca and Shari link that. But we actually colored the letters to look like honey was dripping down. And I thought that was such a cute way to use an alphabet die set.
And it came out so good.
And just so you guys know, I attached the beehive flat with Lawn Fawn glue tube, and I just attached the banner flat with Lawn Fawn glue tube. I just want to mention there's many things on this card that I did not pop up, and everybody should be proud of me because I usually pop up all of the things. And I'm going to add the little bumblebee that is flying to the right. He's going to kind of be a little bit behind this daisy on the left. And I'm going to add one of the little bee trails, this little one right here, behind him.
Yeah, I'm dropping everything here.
Yeah, you got lots going on here.
I don't know what's... My son has not been sleeping, so...
Oh, that's a flower from another card. I don't know what that's from.
Flowers from... I also wanted to mention those of you guys that like combining different sentiment sets and things with this set. And if you check out the intro video, you can see how we did this because there's a mask included where you can mask off the honeycomb. And when you do that, it's a perfect fit for any of the Magic Messages stamp sets. So you can use your Magic Messages stamp sets inside the honeycomb for a cute and quick card. So definitely check out the intro video for that idea as well.
Super cute.
And then, somebody asked, she says, I know most people might already know this, but they want you guys to do a little intro of your names and your favorite food.
Ooh, I like that.
So go ahead, Kelly.
All right. My name is Kelly Marie Alvarez. I'm one of the owners of Lawn Fawn. My favorite food is ice cream.
Or chocolate.
Or chocolate. But I mean chocolate ice cream.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say ice cream. Okay.
Yeah, I have Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip ice cream every single night. I love it. It is my happy place. I also love chocolate chips. And whenever I'm stressed out, I eat this. I think this is like my third bag like this month. Yeah.
And my name is Jen Shirkus, and I am a Lawn Fawn instructor. So I help Kelly at virtual trade shows and in-person trade shows and teach classes. And then I also teach classes through my website as well, which is shirkus.com. And I live on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. So I'm an East Coast fawny, and it's summertime, and we have amazing seafood right now. So I'm going to say seafood since Kelly said ice cream. That's a close second. We take our ice cream very seriously in New England. So just saying.
Yeah, someone's asking about the platform pop-up fitting in an A2. So if you don't put the platform pop-up add-on and you keep the characters, you put it a little bit shorter, they will fit in an A2. And what you can do is you can take your platform pop-up. I don't know if I have one. I do find a short one. So here's a good example of one that's a short one. So it doesn't have a big height to it, and so it fits in an A2 envelope because it's a shorter design. I'll show you an example of a taller one. Oh yeah, so here, A2 envelope, and it fits. But here's one where we added the little backdrop, which is the add-on. This one here, it gets too tall, and that's where you need the 5x7 envelope. So just depends on how you decorate, what size envelope you need. The good thing is a 5x7 envelope is still standard postage, which is really nice.
Yay. So just to let you guys know what I was doing while we were chatting, I added, I already mentioned it, but I added the little guy over here facing right with glue tube and his little bee trail, also flat with glue tube. I added the queen bee with foam squares, and I added the honey jar with foam squares. And then I added the honey dipper with just a little bit of glue tube kind of right onto the bottom of that honey jar. And now I'm going to take the other long bee trail, and we are going to have that coming off of our queen bee. But some of it might hang off the edge, and we're just going to end up trimming that away. So no worries.
And I'm going to take a look at some more questions. Oh yeah, people had questions about the party animal, which we've done that. We call them party animals, the ones that are the birthday sets. And let's see here. So somebody's asking that they didn't receive their birthday set from last year.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so make sure to write info@lawnfawn.com, and Jess will hook you up with that for sure. She'll explain that whole process. Oh, and someone else loves that brand of chocolate chips. I love it too. I'm allergic.
With peanut butter.
Oh, yeah, I'm allergic to a lot of things. So I like that brand because it's just, I don't have to worry about it. It's free of everything.
Somebody's asking what size is the trimmed panel?
This panel here is 4 from left to right and 5 1/4 from top to bottom.
So
I trimmed it down after I did my stenciling, because that way if I made a mistake or anything, I can trim it off. And then this way it's going to have a nice thin border on this adorable pattern paper, which we'll get to in just a minute.
And I also want to just answer a couple more questions. Number one, Stephanie wants to know about you, Rebecca, which is perfect because she just made homemade ice cream with vodka infused vanilla. And that is Rebecca's favorite food, is vodka.
Vodka or gin. Right now it's vodka, you know.
But this is Rebecca. She works here at LFHQ. I'll let you, yeah.
I don't usually, but I actually did my hair and makeup.
You look very cute today.
So I'm Rebecca. Hello. And, yeah.
She's our resident New Yorker here at Lawn Fawn.
And Shari is also an East Coast Fawny. She's in North Carolina, and she is the one that is answering the questions on Facebook. So I am stamping a little sentiment in our speech bubble. I chose Hive 5, but you guys can choose any of the cute little sentiments that are available in the set. And then I'm going to add that to my card with a foam square. And I actually have it go off of the yellow just a little bit because we're going to put that pattern paper. So it's kind of fun to break off out of the border. And so I'm going to use just tape runner. I use my ETG gun whenever I'm doing big panels, but I'm going to add this to the pattern paper that is cut to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm using the cute little dots, the pinkish dots, but there are so many cute colors and dots and stripes in this pad. I don't even know what's going on in the West Coast. Don't even know.
The speech bubble stuck to my bum.
Did you guys have happy hour before class?
We actually talked about it, but we didn't. This is just us on a Friday after a busy week. But the speech bubble was stuck to my bum. I'm assuming someone else that's happened to them, I hope.
Shari's telling me that people on Facebook are saying hi everybody. Because I'm not on Facebook, I'm only on the YouTube side. Shari and I can't manage. Shari and I each take a side.
Yeah, it's too much.
Oh, someone else is a fan as well.
Yeah, gin baby, yeah. I do both. Either one, I go back and forth, but right now it's whipped cream vodka.
I'm a whiskey girl, so.
So now I'm going to take the teeny little heart and I'm going to just stamp it like a sprinkle of sequins, like kind of envision it that way. I like to always use the little acrylic blocks from Lawn Fawn when I'm doing tiny stamping, and I'm just going to add them to the card. If you haven't stamped with a tiny stamp in a while, make sure you do some test stamps. You just need to have a very gentle hand so that it won't look squished. But I love how nice these little images do stamp. And again, you can look at the picture of the card if you're not sure placement, and you can just copy what I did.
There is a somebody's asking, will we ever re-release the bouquet
I actually saw that. I bet it's too late, but I wonder if we could change our order. We could add it, our reorder.
I will put it down, and I'm in early Monday morning. I'll ask.
Yeah, so we just did a reorder on some papers, and we reordered actually a really fun red and white stripe for the holidays. Yeah, that's gorgeous. But I would love that bouquet one. So we should definitely see if we can change that order, because then we can add it in.
All right. And now I'm going to use the Sparkle Glaze Pen that came in the kit, but you can also purchase this separately. And I'm going to add some glitter all the things. I'm going to glitter the crown on the bee, the queen bee. I just have to get mine started. There we go. And also on the handout, I list out what I added the Sparkle Glaze Pen to. So if you miss something, you can just check that out. I'm adding it to wherever I put the BG10 on the bee's wings.
Okay, this is a Jen. Oh, sorry, I'll wait.
Just real quick, I was just going to say the glaze pen is like a thicker glitter, which I love. So I kind of dab some out and then I kind of just spread it around with the nozzle. And I'm going to also put it on the yellow parts of the daisies. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Well, this is actually, so there's two. One is a question I'm going to answer quickly, and then the other one's going to be for you. Mermaid cardstock. It is supposed to be coming in end of July, beginning of August, but we've been told that now for 2 months. We're working on it. It is the
everybody just think happy mermaid
keep your
thoughts.
Fingers crossed, because that is my favorite color, and Kelly and I are down to our last 2 sheets.
Yeah.
So that's why we are hoping for it too.
But we have been working on it for a long time, and we're hoping to get it.
Okay. Now this is a question for you, Jen. Hold on, sorry, I lost it. Do we need anything to prime the Lawn Fawn stamps before first use? I can't seem to get my images to be as crisp as yours. So do you?
Yeah. So I don't really ever prep a stamp personally. I know there's lots of tips out there of people that do. They ink it up maybe in Versamark, or they rub an eraser on it. I think a big thing is what ink are you using? And again, Lawn Fawn Jet Black is what I use to stamp all of my images. To stamp your sentiments, you can use the Lawn Fawn Black Licorice, Or I do love my VersaFine Onyx Black. So any of those. I do think ink is a big deal. But I do think that there's something to be said, like when you have a new stamp. So like this guy with the birthday hat, I have not stamped him yet. He's super clean, super in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put him on a block. And sometimes just stamping, and I'm just grabbing a piece of cardstock. Give me 1 second. Sometimes just stamping it once and then stamping it again kind of seasons the stamp. So this is the Lawn Fawn Jet Black. This is what I use whenever I'm going to color in an image. I had something on my stamp, but so stamping it first time, nice, crisp black, like you can see right there. And that was using an acrylic block. If you feel more comfortable, you can use a stamp platform so that you can stamp it again. So like I mentioned, we do not have central air in our house here on Cape Cod, and we have very high humidity. So in the summer months, I sometimes need to stamp images a couple times just because of the humidity in the house is getting in my paper. But you guys can see here with this brand new stamp, I'm able to get really nice, crisp images. Of course, now I said that and the face didn't stamp. But sometimes just stamping him a few times seasons him. What the heck is happening with his face? Sometimes stamping him a couple times. Oh my gosh.
It's the pressure, Jen. It's too much pressure.
Really?
Not too much pressure. No, not with your hand. I mean, just emotionally.
Okay, there we go. Geesh. See, this is live. This is why I sometimes use my Misty Live, because I get so nervous. Okay, I just got to prove that I can stamp. So
I go through all the stamps when we get them new.
No, yeah.
Sure a weird line or anything. And that's my trick, is I stamp everything. Every stamp is how I stamp it 3 times.
Yeah.
And that usually is my like season, you know. By the 3rd time the stamp's absorbed, you know.
Another thing that you can do is I'll just take my thumb and just run it right across the stamp. And there's just something about that when it's brand new that you almost every single time. Really what happens, I always like to think, is a used stamp is a happy stamp. So if you use the stamps, you'll get a good one. He's also mentioning you can wipe it with your chamois as well. So it's just like anything. When you put on a brand new pair of shoes, like it takes a second for your foot to kind of, right? It's that same idea.
You also figure, I mean, the stamps are manufactured and then they're put in bags, and there's just a lot of like chance that, not like dust, but there's just remnants of the manufacturing that could happen. So it's nice to just kind of wipe them or. All right. So
in our warehouse, it's dog fur.
Oh yeah, dog furs.
It tracks its way in. There's always dog fur. Kelly has to check her stamps because there's dog fur.
Yeah.
I'm just finishing up with the Sparkle Glaze Pen. I'm just doing a thin line along the beehive lines. I put a little bit where the honey would be on the honey dipper. And then we're going to set this aside to dry because it's going to take, for me, probably like an hour because, again, humidity.
What's that?
Shut it.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
And then that is our first card. So cute. I love it, Kelly.
I have one more question for you, Jen. Somebody wants to know, what ink pad did you use to stamp those tiny images? It looks gold or silver. I'm thinking they're talking about using the glaze now that is making it shiny, but I'm not.
I didn't put glaze on the hearts. I just used a black ink. You can use Lawn Fawn Black Licorice or like a VersaFine Onyx Black, whatever you guys have. Hopefully that answered the question.
I think so.
Also, someone mentioned wanting a stamp version of Henry's ABCs, and I like that idea too. Let's write that down because it'd be nice for them to go together.
All right. So now we're going to take out our pieces for our cute little tag. This is so cute, you guys. So cute.
Someone's asking if there's a Christmas remix paper pad in the next release, and there is. There is a, well, it's not technically a remix, but it's like a reimagining.
Yeah.
So, but it's cute. You're
Somebody's
gonna like
also asking if there's going to be mice in the new release.
Oh yeah.
It's
Of
kind of yeah.
course. You're gonna like
Ask
that.
and you shall receive.
Yes, there are mice for sure.
All right. So, are we ready to make our tag?
I think we are.
All right. So you guys have your little, oh, I meant to actually, these are all the dies that are in the set. So I just die cut the back of the tag part out of one of the pattern papers. Okay. We're just going to set that aside for now. We're not going to need it for a little bit. And then we have our bigger rectangle of white cardstock and our smaller rectangle of white cardstock. And so what we're going to do first is on our bigger rectangle, we are going to, I'm just thinking what we're going to do. We're going to die cut it. Sorry, I had to think it out in my head. Sometimes I design stuff so far in advance, I forget what I did. So with our bigger piece, we are going to die cut it. So I'm going to use the hexagon frame.
Do you want to ink it first, Jen, or do you want to die cut it first?
I think I want to die cut it first because it's going to only be very lightly inked. It's the center part that's going to be inked heavy. But thank you. That's what I was thinking through.
That's what I thought. So I was like trying to be a crafty friend, you know?
I appreciate that because, you know, I can always use a little help. But so I'm putting this down with just a little repositionable tape. And I'm just going to run it through my mini die cut machine. And make sure that you guys save that center hexagon piece. So we've got our frame. And now we have our center piece of the hexagon. So save that. This piece right here. Okay.
And someone just mentioned that they came in late. When's the new release? It's August 25th. And yes, the video will be on later. There will be a replay for those of us joining you now.
And if you've missed any of the previous Create With Us's, you can find all the details for those on the Create With Us website, which are on the page on the Lawn Fawn website. And there are links to the previous videos. So the handouts are there, the replays are there, and it's awesome.
Okay, so here's a really good question about losing some stamp cling. So what happens with your stamps is, and this means that you have been stamping a lot with it, and I love that, is that we have oil and dirt on our fingers. And so as we're touching our stamps, that oil and dirt is getting on the back there. So if you use the stamp a lot, you just might have covered the cling with some dust and dirt, or dog hair if you're Rebecca, you know,
or Prisma glitter if you're taking my classes.
True, or glitter. The good thing about a stamp is that all you need to do is wash it off. There's two ways. One, honestly, you could just run it under the water and let it dry, and it might be pretty good. Or if you needed a little extra scrub, some Dawn dish soap is perfect. You can even have a little bowl and put water and a drop of the Dawn dish soap, put it in there, and you could put a bunch of your stamps in, wash them all, let them dry, and you'll see that the cling is back. I have stamp sets that are my original Lawn Fawn stamps. Yeah, I have my original stamp sets from 12 years ago, and I can still use them. So
we took out our alphabet set for something a couple months ago, and they were just like that. I took them. I'm going to tell you a couple little tricks here. So if it's a little set like the alphabet set, I put them all in a little bowl. I let them soak. I washed them. I scrubbed them. I then used one of those like fine mesh strainers, and I poured all the water out in the strainer so that way I didn't lose any of my stamps.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to go down the drain. So that was my like little. I learned that the hard way. Don't ask. But just, you know, use a fine mesh strainer. Yeah, because that when you rinse them and then just rinse them and they were perfect again. It was, you know, again, don't further problem.
So somebody was asking what frame I used. I used this one from the kit, all right, and just keep both pieces. And so the first thing that we're going to do is using that #2 pencil ink again. I am going to lightly ink the frame. I don't want it super dark. I'm going to lightly ink it. I did see somebody made a suggestion that if you don't want to bend your frame, you could put these two pieces back together like this, which is a great tip. So I'm just going to go around and do all the sides lightly.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
And then the center hexagon piece, we want to go to town. This is getting all your aggression out from the week. We want this to be nice and golden and dark. This is how my ink blending usually is. I'm like,
and this is all the #2 pencil, right, Jen?
All #2 pencil. Yep.
And let's see, I'm trying to answer some questions here as well. Somebody mentioned that they still have their Gleeful Gardens. One of my #1, like it's in my top 5 favorite Lawn Fawn sets ever, is Gleeful Gardens. It will never go away. It will never be retired because I love it so much. Someone said, why do some stamp sets go yellow? Usually if a stamp set's gone yellow, it might be an older set because clear stamp technology has improved over time. But it usually has to do with getting too much sun. They're photopolymer, meaning that we actually create them. They're created by reacting to light. And so if you maybe have had them in the sun too long, they might be a bit yellow. The cool thing is that they're going to work no matter what. So even if your stamps are a little bit yellow, they're still going to work. Stamps can also turn yellow because your ink may have stained them. If you didn't clean them quite off, or if you used a red ink or something, it might stain them. Good thing again is that it's not going to affect the performance of the stamp at all. But if you ever have any questions about stamps that have yellowed, you can always email us at info@lawnfawn.com.
Yay. So our smaller rectangle, I'm going to ink blend with Mermaid. Now, I cleaned off my desk surface with the rubbing alcohol so that I won't be making green. But I'm going to use Mermaid. And I'm going to go ahead and just ink blend this rectangle. And it can be as light or as dark as you want. Whatever you're feeling, it'll work. We're going to make sentiment strips with this. I was not telling people they needed Mermaid cardstock because I knew that.
Yeah, appreciate that. There's a way. Hey, this is a nice tip on how to make some. To use the Mermaid ink. Yes, and hopefully soon. That day we are gonna have a party here at Lawn Fawn when the Mermaid
I literally
arrives.
ask every week, do we have a shipping notice?
All right, and that is all of our ink blending.
And someone mentioned, how would they know when a kit was coming out? A kit or any new products of ours will always come out in an email newsletter. So you can sign up for our newsletter at the bottom of our website, lawnfawn.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Sign up for notifications on everything. You can put us in favorites on Instagram, and you'll definitely get notifications that way. So you can see us social media and the newsletter, and also our blog. You can even sign up to receive the blog every single day in your inbox, which is kind of nice because it's a nice little sunshiny email you'll see in the morning. And so you can do that as well. So that way you'll make sure you'll never miss any notification of new videos or new inspiration or new products.
Yeah, my table surface is a glass tabletop from IKEA. So that's what I've been working on. I saw that question.
I've just been ink blending on this guy today.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, on your station for sure. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on this rectangle. So I'm going to stamp "Thanks for being my friend." And it honestly doesn't matter like the spacing. I'll just show you guys the tag again because we're going to be chopping it up into what I call word fetty. All right. So don't stress about the spacing or anything. You just kind of want it all to be on this teal cardstock. Live stamping again. Makes me so nervous. I do it all the time in my studio, like all the time.
It's the emotional pressure.
Oh, thanks for being my friend.
And I'm going to do Happy Bee Day just for something, to show something different. Now, I did want to mention that this kit came in a really cute blue bag that we were hoping that you could repurpose as a gift bag, and you can create your gift tag for it. So you could have your card, your matching gift tag, and then you have this beautiful blue bag that can be upcycled into a fun gift for someone. So if you guys do that, make sure to share a picture with us, because I think it's going to be really cute.
Such a good idea. All right, so I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to freehand cut these. This is how I do WordFetti. I like them to look a little not perfect, kind of like a ransom letter. If that stresses you out, you guys can use your trimmer, but I would encourage you to try to let loose a little bit, be a little wild and crazy on this Friday night, and just trim them with your scissors. And it's totally okay if it's not straight. Like, I don't want it to be perfectly straight. And I'm going to cut it so that it's thanks for, and then being is its own little strip. So we've got 3 little strips here. And if you're not sure, if you're using a different sentiment like Kelly is, just wait and don't cut your strips just yet, because you'll want to see how they fit onto your tag. Okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the honeycomb die right here, and we're going to cut this out twice out of our dark hexagon. And it does fit. I just wanted to show you guys. It's a little bit of a puzzle, but it will fit. And guess what? If you have a hard time fitting it, I bet you have some more white cardstock in your crafty space and you can ink up some more.
Can you show that cut out for people again, Jen? Maybe leave it on your desk.
So we are going to just cut this out twice, just like that. It's like a little puzzle piece.
And someone mentioned, is Lawn Fawn ink water soluble? Yes, most of our inks do react with water and are water soluble. The difference is in our alcohol friendly ink. So for example, we've been talking about the jet black ink pad. That one actually doesn't react with water, meaning you can Copic color with it, you can watercolor with it. So it's a different type of ink. And when we have that type of ink, it has a little starburst in the top that says alcohol friendly ink. Or alcohol marker friendly. That also means that you can use watercolor with it too. And we have 4 colors in this. We have a black, a gray, a brown, and then one we call jellyfish, which is almost translucent, so you can do no line coloring. So when you see the burst, you know that it's not water soluble, that it's going to be okay when you add water around it. And then all the other ones you can mix with water and do some cool techniques.
So I'm just going to say I'm about to cut my second one. Try not to lose all your inner honeycomb bits. Okay, we're going to need some of those. So if they're falling out, just kind of collect them on your surface. Just don't put them in your scrap pile.
While you do that, Jen, I'm going to answer 2 questions. We have a question about if we're going to make a coordinating die for the small Here For You bear that was a gift with purchase. And yes, that will be. Yeah, I really, really, really want that die, so I'm with you on that. So I'll be pushing for that, I promise. And then somebody's asking about, will there be die cuts for all the party hats?
Eventually, yes.
Eventually, yes. But all the party hats, all those, all the party hats will have. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I'm stumbling.
Yeah, that one will come out eventually as well. I'm not quite sure when, but eventually. But the Here For You bear, I really want him to come out in springtime.
He's my favorite. That little bear was my absolute favorite bear. He's adorable. And then there was one more question. Oh, so somebody is late to coming to joining us. Well, welcome. But you're asking if we'll be doing more kits in the future.
Maybe. We don't have any plan right now. It won't be something monthly. It'll be a fun surprise that happens occasionally. So, but we've really had a lot of fun doing this kit. So we're excited about planning some for the future. And so we're so glad that you guys have enjoyed it as well.
All right. So we have our honeycombs die cut out. I'm kind of keeping it all together just so I don't lose all my little pieces. We've got our tag that we had prepped for class, and then we have our frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our frame on top. I'm not going to adhere it yet, but I'm going to gently take apart my honeycomb. And what I did is I used 3 of those honeycomb bits that come out of the honeycomb as centers of the flowers. Okay. Now I know that the die comes with a center of the flower, so you're more than welcome to cut those out if you want. I just liked to mimic that honeycomb shape as the center of the daisy. So we are going to use 3 of those. And then we're going to attach our 2 honeycomb backgrounds, but you can see that I kept some of them in and then I punched some of them out. So if you punch all of them out, you can just place the honeycomb pieces back in once you figure out where you want them, or you can just make sure you keep some of them in. It's however it works. I'll just let you guys know, a lot of you know, I have 3 cats. One is Mr. Harley Kitten Shirkus, and he is in the background hunting with his toy. So if you hear him meowing, that is him. So I just didn't want anybody to be alarmed. So I'm going to take one of my honeycombs here, and I am going to just probably punch my pieces out because I don't mind replacing them in. I like to kind of have it in place first before I decide where I want to put them back in as filler. And I'm going to use my Lawn Fawn glue tube. I just add a teeny bit of glue here and there. Doesn't need to be everywhere. And I just kind of am putting my frame in place, kind of like what we did with the Hive when we put our daisies down, just so I can see how it's all going to kind of look. And I'm going to then place in my first little honeycomb. And then my second one is going to go down here. So it's kind of like a diagonal. The first one's in the upper left-hand corner, and the second one will be in the lower right-hand corner.
And someone mentioned using the double-sided adhesive sheets for this, and that is a great idea. Because it'd be really easy to adhere them down. I love those double-sided adhesive sheets. They are awesome. And we have those word dies I'm telling you guys about that are coming out. They're going to be really great with those adhesive sheets too.
You're really going to want to stock up on the adhesive sheets. They work great with it.
Good thing to get on the sale.
Yes, and there's a sale right now, 15% off. The code is summer22, all one word. So SUMMER22. And
when does the sale end, Kelly? Just for those that are watching on replay.
Tomorrow evening. So tomorrow evening. So we've got just a little bit left, about 24 hours left of the sale. So
July 16th in the evening.
Yes. Oh yeah, that helps with the different.
Yeah.
So.
I tried really hard when I designed our projects tonight to not bring in too many different supplies so you guys could see just what you can get done with what's just in the kit, because I think that's always inspiring to see and not feel like you have to own everything as much as we all like to. I wanted to make sure I inspired you with what you already had in your hands. So you guys can see I have my 2 honeycomb pieces down, right? And we're going to eventually put the frame on. But actually we can go ahead and put the frame on now. I'll go ahead and do that. A little bit of glue tube. And that will give it this nice finished look. You also can make a fun little shaker with this tag. There's so many fun things. And now that I have this in place, I am going to just add in a few more of those fillers. Because if you think about it, when you look at honeycomb, right, some of it's like punched out, but some of it's filled with honey. And the way that I like to do this is I'm going to dot on my Lawn Fawn glue tube, just a little dot of glue. And really, you guys, there's no rhyme or reason to the best place to be putting your pieces. And I'm just going to use like a gem picker-upper. And I pick up that little piece and I just place it right back in.
And I wanted to mention, somebody's asking the difference between Merman and Mermaid. So the Merman is brighter and more towards green, and the Mermaid is a bit softer and more towards blue. They're really, really similar colors, but I love having both of them because it's like the two different shades of turquoise, depending on what look you're going for, brighter or maybe a little bit more, not soft isn't the right word, but more towards blue instead of towards green.
Yeah, the Merman is a bit more like, it's brighter. It's not as muted. I don't want to say the word neon, but it's very bright.
Yeah. And so I'm a Merman girl. I love Merman. That's my favorite. But then, like, I think Shari, you might like Mermaid more. So it's just like a personal preference. But there you can see it's subtle. But I love having both. I really like using Merman with our cloudy stencil because it gives you these like bright, happy clouds. But I like really bright colors. So
So I actually use probably both of them, but I love all teal. So I think in your world, you should have everything teal. But if you guys even just look around me, you can tell that that's a thing for me. So I do appreciate that Lawn Fawn has some good teals in their inks and cardstocks. All right, so we've got those little honeycombs just kind of filling in, just kind of making a little bit of a different background there. And now what I'm going to do is, and don't get rid of your honeycomb pieces. Remember, we're going to need 3 of those. But what I'm going to do is take my little daisies that we added the flowers on, the yellow on earlier. I'm going to take those and get those ready. And I'm going to add those on with glue tube. Now, you might want to start to figure out, if you're doing a different sentiment than me, start to figure out your placement because it might be a little bit different than mine. Again, I'm kind of copying my samples, so I'm just going to mimic what I did previously. And I'm adding the daisies on with a little bit of glue tube. And I will talk about turning this into a card once we get the tag made. So no worries if that's what you're hoping to do. All of this is going to be the same. So I've got those 3 little daisies on. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I'm going to add glue tube to the center of the daisies. And I'm just going to use the gem picker-upper and put those little honeycomb places back in the center of the daisy. And again, the die comes with a center, so you could use that as well. But I just thought this was a fun way to kind of mimic that honeycomb shape.
Someone was asking what surface I was working on. When I held up the surface I was ink blending on, that's the Make Art Station. It's by our friend, by Wendy Becky, and we can link to it. It's just a cool stenciling thing. If you're asking about my work surface in videos, that's actually a clear mat with some beautiful turquoise colored cardstock behind it because we just love that color and it's one of the Lawn Fawn colors. So it's kind of fun. If you ever wanted a surface for yourself, you can get a clear cutting mat and you can put any color or pattern behind it, and you could even change it up for the season. So it's kind of a fun way to get a custom color in your craft room.
So I'm going to add my little bumblebee on here with some foam squares.
And Jen, I wanted to mention you were going to give some die cutting tips about the
flowers.
The flowers. The when there's impressions from the.
Oh gosh, thank you. Well, let me cut some because I already glued mine on. Thank you, Kelly. Sorry
I just remembered. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. It's totally fine. Let me just cut some really quick. Thank you. I totally see. That's why I keep you around.
Yeah, exactly. I need to earn my keep.
So let me just cut a little daisy. Now, dies sometimes have these holes in them, and that's to help release the paper. So you can put like a poker tool through there and get your paper out if they're stuck in there. But of course, sometimes that makes a little bump on your cardstock. And
that just depends on the pressure of your machine and the thickness of the cardstock, etc.
Yeah, and sometimes, honestly, it doesn't bother me in the design I'm working on. Sometimes I let it be, but sometimes it just kind of really stands out. So a way to fix that, and let's see if I can, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but see those two little bumps on those petals? So the way that you can fix that is I use my Teflon bone folder. This is the Lawn Fawn Teflon bone folder, and it has a nice flat edge here. So it has the kind of the scoring edge and then this nice flat edge. And all I do is just rub, kind of drag, pull and drag on those petals. And I'm doing it against my glass table surface. You want to make sure, it doesn't have to be glass, but you just want to make sure it's a nice flat hard surface that you're working against. And I'm just dragging it out, and now there are literally no bumps. Nice and smooth. So thank you for reminding me to do that, Kelly, because I did want to show it.
Yeah, it's a cool little technique. And what you may see it happen and you may see it not happen. It just kind of depends on the paper and the die cut machine. We have dozens of the same brands of die cut machines here because we do a lot of prep for classes for our retailers and for cards that we send them. And every single machine is different. They're all unique like snowflakes. So you have to see what your machine does. And there's nice to have little tips and tricks like that.
So I'm using the foam strips and adding a little bit of foam behind each of my word fetty pieces. Those of you that have been taking my classes know I'm obsessed with these strips now. I use them all the time.
We have them now too. We love them.
Perfect. And then I'm going to just start to put my sentiment down, and I purposely have it kind of going, you know, and those are real words right there.
I like it.
And this helps the fact that, you know, I didn't use a paper trimmer to trim my sentiment. So kind of putting it, you know, at an angle and playing with the placement will totally work with the fact that I used my scissors. It doesn't need to be precise and perfect all the time.
People are wanting more hints.
Yeah,
I know you heard earlier, there's going to be the mice are definitely back in one of my favorite mouse sets ever. It's so cute. We have fall and winter in this release and Halloween. And there is a critter that we've occasionally done, but has never had its own.
Nope, he's all by himself new guy.
Yeah, so it's a critter, like a new critter, a new little style of critter, and he's never had like his own big set before. So I think you guys are gonna
pretty awesome.
Love him. He's really cool.
If you think of a fall activity, that if you live somewhere where there's 4 seasons and you think of a fall activity, one is going to be in a stamp set.
Yes.
Right?
I like that. I like that.
That's a really good.
And someone's asked about the sale code. It's not a one-time use. You can use it as many times as you would like.
All right. And I'm keeping mine as a tag. So I am going to add a little bit of the sparkle glaze to the wings like I did. But if you're going to turn this into a card, don't do this step yet because it's going to take a little bit for it to dry and you don't want it to smear. Although sparkle glaze is pretty forgiving if it smears because it's just pretty iridescent sparkle. But if you want to turn yours into a card, I actually made mine to be a little 4-bar card. I believe I put the measurements in the handout for you. And so I used a stitched rectangle from one of the 4-bar stitched rectangle sets. Maybe Kelly could peek at the handout for me and tell me if it was the large or the small.
I think you might have mentioned.
She actually mentioned regular.
You mentioned a regular stitch rectangle, which you can use as well. But we do have 4 stitch rectangles too.
I think I did that just because I felt more people had the regular one. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you guys the difference while you're.
Thank you, Kelly. And then the only thing that I did differently here is to balance it out, I actually added a daisy over the loophole of the tag. You could most certainly put some lawn trimmings up there and tie it into a little knot or a little bow. But I just added another daisy there. There also is a really cute reinforcer for the tag. So you could add that with a different pattern paper and then like some ribbon or twine. And then I just added one more daisy down here because I have a hard time doing evens of things. I've got to do odd numbers. So there's 5 daisies total. And again, I just cut this out of pattern paper and added it to the little card front. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so 4-bar rectangles, it's just a different style size of card. And what it is it's like skinnier and taller. So here you can see I actually have a newer set here because I had to replace mine.
It's one of Kelly's favorite.
Yeah. Colors. So this is a standard A2. And then this is a 4-bar. So you can see it's like a skinnier, taller, and they make for like nice mini cards as well. So that's the difference between these. You can also mix and match these like Jen has done in her card too. So they're just a fun little different size. If you're ever looking for something kind of skinnier and taller or a nice size for when you want to make more mini sized cards.
And all the measurements for the stitched rectangle sets are listed on Lawn Fawn's website. So if you go to the small stitched rectangle set, it'll have all the approximate measurements listed for you. So that's really helpful too, to help you determine maybe what set to start with or what one you would get the most use out of.
And people were asking about your pickup tool, Jen.
Oh, so my pickup tool is from Trinity Stamps. She just like Lawn Fawn sponsors my art retreat that I do virtually. So I just like that it had the poker tool on one end and a pickup tool. But I know Lawn Fawn's website has a pickup tool. I think, is it the Studio Casio one?
Yeah, so all of them are great. There's all
they're all great.
There's also the Jewel Picker by Margie.
Which we also carry.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of them. Also, I want to mention that someone on Facebook did guess one of our fall stamp sets exactly.
Maybe my hint was too big of a hint. Sorry.
Over on YouTube also.
Oh, really? Okay, so you guys can check the comments.
And then there are lots of guesses on other critters.
I did want to mention a lot of people have been asked about penguins. While there may not be a new penguin, there is a cool way to use a previous penguin that we will definitely show you because Rebecca's son has insisted on it.
He's been asking for it since he started.
It's a very cute idea. So we'll definitely show you how to bring an older penguin and use it with something that's in one of the new stamp sets.
Well, and we also all love so much about how everything Lawn Fawn coordinates together. Like we talked about at the beginning of the live, this bee set is going to work so well with all of the bear sets and everything. So there's so many fun things you guys can do with this set now too.
Yeah.
I just want to say a couple quick reminders and we can answer some more questions. But one is please share your cards either on Instagram or Facebook and make sure you use the hashtag LFCreateWithUs. It's at the bottom of your screen. It's also on the handout. Would love for you to tag Lawn Fawn. Feel free to tag me as well, Jen Shirkus. It's all on your handout. And that way we can make sure we see all the awesome projects you make. And you never, ever have to apologize if your project is different or you changed something. It's awesome if you do that. It's awesome if you copy it exactly. Whatever you do, as long as you're creating, we are happy. And then keep those comments coming because pretty soon, Shari and Rebecca are going to pick a winner, one winner from Facebook and one winner from YouTube. If you're watching on replay, you have until next Friday. I don't know that date. Is it the 21st? Do we know next Friday's date by any chance? Does somebody have a calendar?
Next Friday is the 22nd.
22nd. So
that's when we're gonna pick from the replay.
If you're watching on replay, you have until July 22nd to leave a comment, and we will pick one more winner from YouTube and one more winner from Facebook. Worldwide giveaway. Kelly said Lawn Fawn headquarters will ship out a Hive 5 kit to you no matter where you are. All right. Somebody asked, will there be a Stamp-tember set this year, Kelly?
There will be. There will be. It's in production already. It's super cute. So I don't know when it's going to be yet, but there will be one during Stamp-tember. So we're excited to be part of that fun event again.
And Stamp-tember is hosted by Simon Says Stamp for those that don't know.
And then here I wanted to just show you guys so you can see if you used a different word, Fetty.
Cute.
PB Day turned out.
I love it. So
and
cute.
I did it, Jen. I did it. I cut it with my scissors.
I'm so proud of you, Kelly. I swear, whenever I design these Create With Us's, not only do I want to teach you guys things, but I also want to get Kelly out of her comfort zone.
I like it. It's good. This is good for me.
Thank you guys so much. I'm seeing all the really sweet comments on thank you for the great class. I'm glad that you guys liked it. I will just remind you guys, I also do online classes through Shirkus.com. I have a ton of Lawn Fawn classes. I also do distress technique classes. And then this fall, I'm also going to be doing a Copic class. And all of the classes you can take them live, or if you're just finding me, you can take previous classes. You'll have access to handouts similar to your Create With Us handouts, coloring guides, and they're all in a private Facebook group. But stay tuned for those of you that might not be on Facebook, because I think I have a solution for that this fall. And I also have an email newsletter that you can subscribe for over on my website too.
Yes, and definitely you want to check out Jen's classes. They're awesome. She also teaches Vishari sometimes. So you definitely want to check that out. And they'll be just the ones for fall and winter. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be exciting with Create With Us too. So there's a lot of opportunity this fall to get crafty and just have fun creating. And fall and winter to me is one of the best times to create, right? Because it's like cozy and creating and so it's
like inspiring. I just think it's a fun season to create. And Kelly, if you don't mind, I just want to mention, I actually haven't personally mentioned this online anywhere yet, but some of you might have seen some announcements. Online classes are going nowhere. I will continue to do online classes, but before the pandemic, I was traveling all over North America and teaching classes. So I just want to let everybody know I will be teaching a few in-person classes this fall. I will be at Papercraft Clubhouse in Connecticut in September. And then I'm going to be at Firefly Farm in Minnesota in October. And I know Firefly Farm has announced all of the details about that on their website because they do pre-sale to their members. She calls them their farm girls. But it's opening up to the public, I believe, August 1st. I will start to announce that and share all of that information too. But I know a lot of people have also been asking if I'm going to be doing in-person classes again. And I am going to be doing a few of them this fall. But again, online classes are not going anywhere. I'll still be doing those as well.
Yeah, and you should check out those 2 live events for sure. And we can link to both Papercraft Clubhouse and Firefly Farm in the comments so that you guys have a place to follow those, especially if you're in New England anywhere, you got to go drive to Papercraft Clubhouse. And if you're in Minnesota, or honestly, even outside of Minnesota, because this event is definitely special. It's a little different. So you could be from outside of Minnesota too. You could go hang out at Firefly Farm. So you guys definitely need to check out. Both of those stores are amazing. And if you've been wondering about a store that you want to go and see in person and see Lawn Fawn products, you can also go to our store locator on our website. And I'm going to have Rebecca and Shari link that as well. You can go to the store locator and find a store in your area. They all have cool events and awesome places. I have to say that half the people that work here at Lawn Fawn, we met at our local store, which is Stamp Fever in Orange, California, including Rebecca and I right here. That's where we met. Yep. So, and Nancy, who was in the comments earlier. So go to one of these stores. Like, I know as an adult, it's hard to make friends and it's hard to find people that like the same things you do. So I really suggest that you check out a local store, even if it's not totally local to you, drive a little bit and see what they have going on, because I think you'll have a blast and meet some really cool people along the way too.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a while. I did an in-person class at my in-person event I host here on Cape Cod called Crop on the Cape in March, but besides that, I haven't done any in-person stuff. So I'm really excited. Papercraft Clubhouse is technically my local store because she's the closest one to me. It's 2.5 hours from Cape Cod, but well worth the drive. And then Firefly Farm, I was teaching there twice a year before the pandemic. So I'm looking forward to seeing all my friends that I haven't seen there in a while, but also making new friends. She just opened a brand new retreat center. So definitely check it out. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff this fall.
Somebody, where'd it go? When will you be hosting another live event? And I'm thinking that's aimed at you, Jen.
If that's a question about like my creative journey art retreat live or Crop on the Cape. So Crop on the Cape is in March, and we did have one this year for 2022, and we're already scheduled for 2023. That event is it's been around for over 20 years now. So that's why it's called a crop, but people come and scrapbook, but they also card make and do mixed media. And some people even just come and knit and talk with their friends. But that event is more, you work on your own projects. And then if you want to, there's additional classes you can sign up for. And then there's shopping on site with a bunch of awesome vendors and games and lots of fun. So that is in March. My Creative Journey Art Retreat is a 2-day event where it's really kind of like a class with me on steroids. We make 12 cards, all different brands: Lawn Fawn, Hero Arts, Newton's Nook, Trinity Stamps, like I mentioned earlier, lots of great brands. And I hope to host another one of those in the fall of 2023. What I'm dealing with now on Cape Cod is the overflow of everybody catching up on their weddings. All those weddings that were canceled because of the pandemic, they're all booking out all of the facilities where I could host an event. So I'm just trying to find the perfect place. I want it to be inspiring and fun and have enough space for all of us to create. So hopefully fall 2023 for that.
Yes. And if we were talking about an in-person Lawn Fawn one, we're also looking at stuff more towards fall 2023 as well. So we'll be excited to be back in person doing something. I know some people are mentioning that they wish there was a store close to them. Take a look at the store locator. You never know. Every single time we go, when we used to do a lot of in-person things pre-pandemic at Stamp Fever, and we would broadcast live, and people would be like, I had no idea there was a stamp store 20 minutes from my house. You just don't know. So check out the store locator. And a couple people mentioned their store doesn't carry Lawn Fawn. We would love to work with them. So if they're interested in carrying Lawn Fawn, they can email us at wholesale@lawnfawn.com, and we would love to work with them. They can just carry small amounts of our product at first too. So we love working with our independent stores. So just have them shoot us an email, and we'd love to work with them too.
Stamp Fever is also getting a lot of love.
Yes, I see that. I see Stamp Fever represent. I like that. Yes, we love our local store.
So I just saw a question from Kelly. She asked, what's the status of my binder? So I have a Creative Chick resource binder for those that have been taking my classes. They wanted to organize all of the handouts, and I went out of stock in them in March. And before March, I started talking with my binder company, and I wanted to redesign the inserts so that they're a little bit sturdier and so that they extend past a page protector. Some lessons learned after my first run of them. And I'm actually just submitting the final artwork for all of that and making sure that it all is the way it's supposed to be. I should be getting a proof mailed to me next week so I can make sure the colors are perfect, and hopefully those will be on order soon. So definitely keep your eye out with my email newsletter, and I'll let you guys know when those are restocked. But I'll be shipping inserts separately. So I know a lot of people have been asking for more inserts for their one binder, and so that will be available soon.
And then I've got a lot of questions about the artwork behind me. My beautiful friend Deb created these, and it's very easy to create, and you could do it as well. This is actually featuring the first 10 years of Lawn Fawn paper, and it's just cut down into, I don't know if they're like 1.5-inch squares.
They're 2x2.
Or they're 2x2. And those are frames from IKEA. And you know when you get your IKEA frame and it's got that like cork boardy cardboard thing in the back? They're glued to that.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Yeah, so it's very inexpensive. It's a really cool way to use up your paper scraps. I would cut down, what I would do is you get your paper scraps, cut all your little 2-inch by 2-inch squares, and then lay them out in a rainbowy fashion to see what looks nice, and then glue them down from there. We also used an ATG gun, a stronger glue for these because they were going to be hanging up for so long. But that's those, and I'm going to get my head out of the way here so you guys can see how cute it looks with the 3 of them in a rainbow. And it's such a fun DIY project.
So cute. I just saw Nancy is actually still watching us. She said, love my Fawnies. I had so much fun. So Queen Bee Nancy. Somebody asked if you'll restock the High Five set. Do you want to just comment on that
I'll
one more
go over
time?
that again. Yeah, so we aren't going to be restocking the kits. It was limited edition, but we are hearing you guys and you want these products to come back. So we are taking that into consideration, and we're going to see what we can figure out. I do want to confirm that the paper will definitely come back because that is on order. I just don't know if it'll be spring or summer, but it will come back as well. So we
also had requests for it 12x12.
Yes, and the 12x12 will be coming in this paper collection as well. I love this
Yay.
paper.
So cute. You can use it on literally any card.
Yeah, it's just the best colors. So we love hearing from you guys, and we're going to try to make that happen for you. So
I did just see somebody asked, is Lawn Fawn hosting a class in Scrapbooking Cards Today Crop and Create event this fall? Yes, they are. Yours truly will be teaching, and I actually just finished my designs of those cards last week. I love them so much, and I can't wait. I know that they're going to start sharing sneak peeks with you guys soon in the Facebook group for the event.
Yeah, that's awesome. We shipped all of that out too, so that's going to be a fun event. We're excited for that.
Woohoo! I love it. Awesome.
We're going to catch the replay. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the Lawn Fawn. They love my Lawn Fawn quilt back there. Oh, wonderful, man. We are so grateful for you guys for hanging out with us, for commenting, for creating with us. Yeah. It just makes for a really fun Friday night, and we love being able to hang out with you.
Yeah, thank you for giving Kelly and I an excuse to be able to hang out together.
Yeah.
A question about new ink colors. We don't have new ink colors, but if you have suggestions, let us know.
We would love, because we have so many ink colors now. So if there's a color you've been wanting, email us, info@lawnfawn.com. Jess will pass it along to us, and we can get that made because we'd love to have some more ink colors. And so some people are asking me if it'll be a permanent collection or not. I don't know. What decides if something's a permanent collection or not? Well, it's one of two things. One, and mostly it's if people really love it and we keep hearing from you guys, we make it a permanent collection, or I can't let it go. Yeah. So thus really Rainbow.
The benefit of owning the company.
Yeah, really Rainbow. I can never let it go. It's my favorite. I love it. The other thing we do every once in a while is the way paper manufacturing works makes things. Sorry, Rebecca has some lung issues, so she's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
With 12x12 papers, we're more easily able to reprint them So we could even take an individual paper and bring it back. We're doing that with Polar from Let It Shine Snowflake. So it's the white one with the silver snowflake foils. We're also bringing back the red from the original Let It Shine, which has a really cool red and white stripe on the back and then some gold dots.
I don't know the name.
Red spark. I don't know what the name, but it will come back. So because we only have half a sheet of it left and the name is cut off, but we have reordered. So if there's ever a paper you're like, gosh, maybe we can't bring back for the 6x6, but we could bring back that individual paper.
That red stripe.
We needed the red stripe this year. So let us know, because that really is your suggestions, your emails, your comments is what makes us bring something back. So we appreciate that.
Somebody's asking for a baby pink ink color. We do have ballet slippers.
Yeah, check out ballet slippers for the baby pink.
And we also have peachy. Oops. Uh-oh. Wait. The cranberry ink tried to get me. There's also Peachy Keen, which is really pretty as well, and then ballet slippers. I think those are both really pretty baby colors.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love hearing your guys' comments and your questions.
Forget
People,
me not cardstock.
Cardstock is tough.
Yeah,
it's tough for us to get it, but that's a really good suggestion.
There's been a couple of suggestions of cardstock colors throughout the night. I'm like, I really, I feel I'm in that boat with you. I want some colors.
Yay. I just love, you guys have such the sweetest comments.
I know. Oh my gosh, we're reading through right now. Where do you get the magnets to store dies on, please? I think they may have linked them. There's a lot of different magnet things out there. We have some as well. They're really cute because they've got a little polka dot on the back. And then we have them in a larger size and a smaller size as well.
I'm going to give them now.
More info on the Scrapbooking Cards Today thing. Hopefully somebody can link to that.
Yeah, just make sure you go to the Scrapbooking Cards Today website. The event the registration happened this spring, so it is a sold out event, but definitely follow them because they've been doing a lot of really fun virtual events.
And then I see that people want a fuchsia pink, and that there's a new tiny gift box add-on. There is, and it's one of my favorites ever. So
it's a good one.
It's a good one. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming. I want to let you guys know that our inspiration week for our fall winter will start August 17th with our big giveaway post. We'll also do a fun little save the date reel at some point with a fun sneaky hint. And then starting August 17th, we'll start doing intro videos, and each day we're going to introduce something new from the release. We're going to be focusing on the fall items and the new interactive die and the add-ons for the platform pop-up. And we're going to be working on those, and they're going to lead up until the release day on August 25th. Then come September and October, we'll have more inspiration weeks, continuing to focus on the product that was released in August. Then we'll feature more Christmas and winter items in September and October, and we'll focus on fall for August, just kind of going in order of the holidays. So we're really excited about all of that coming up. So we've got a lot of fun things and a lot of fun inspiration then. And of course, 2 more Create With Us's and some amazing classes and events in person as well by Jen.
So much fun. So much fun. I still need to mermaid a little bit more this summer, but there's going to be so much fun this fall. So much.
Yes, for sure. Well, we appreciate you guys so much. People want more for the reveal wheel. There is a new reveal wheel add-on.
Somebody's asking about how we store the magnetic sheets, the big ones.
Oh, well, my husband made me a box.
Yeah, that sounds like
that's what you see back there.
But you need to make a few more.
He made us a box, but if you look right there, those are bins from Target, I believe.
Yes.
So bin from Target fits it really well too. Or if you woodwork, or your friend or husband or partner does, you could have them build you a box.
There you go. Awesome.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I love someone saying they're having so much fun this Friday. We're so excited for you guys to be here, and that we get to see you now upcoming in fall and winter as well. And we really appreciate you guys. Someone's excited about the new interactive die as well. So it's a good one. So we're excited for everything coming up, and we're thrilled that you guys have had fun creating for this bee kit. I know we have to announce some winners.
That's what I was going to say. So Shari texted you earlier. Can she text you her name from Facebook, and then we can let Rebecca announce her winner from YouTube. And the winners will want to email, I'm assuming, info@lawnfawn.com with your mailing address so we can ship out a kit to you.
Okay. And then we randomly picked a winner here. This is from YouTube. Hannah Haspy. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, but Hannah Haspy. If you can email, who should we have her email you, Rebecca?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Oh, sorry. I had said info.
I'll put my thing here.
Yeah, so email Rebecca@lawnfawn.com with your information, and then we'll mail a kit out to you. And Shari has picked over from Facebook, Liz Vargas. So Liz Vargas, if you can email Rebecca@lawnfawn.com, and we'll type that in both of the comment sections with your mailing information, and we'll mail you out a Hive 5 kit next week. So thank you guys so much. And we're really, really thrilled to be with you guys, and we appreciate you so much.
Awesome. And remember, if you're watching on replay, get your comments in before next Friday, July 22nd, and we'll pick one more winner from YouTube and one more winner from Facebook. So thank you guys so much for joining us. It's so fun.
Thank you. I know. I always have a blast. This really was a nice, bright end to my week. I know, and I hope it was for you guys too. And thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. And we will see you in the fall.
Yes. So make sure, sign up for the newsletter, do the blog, all our social media, and you'll hear from us.
Bye, guys.